Bingo. Bingo. InShalla and Ashe. Blessings, everybody. My energetic beings, holistic Sha'Medium and subtle energy surgeon here, Tonya D. Welcome to my daily snippet. Today is September 18th, 2021. And yeah, I just finished my workout, so I'm a little late today. And has anybody watched Braveheart lately? If you haven't, I suggest you actually rewatch that one. And for you who haven't even heard of Braveheart, I suggest you kind of watch it too. It's William Wallace and the Fight for Freedom. So, yeah, pretty interesting. I think we need some more William Wallace out in our corridor. But what is the new you that you have been recalibrating for? From the first moment of awakening this morning, what is the first thing you did? Maybe a little morning meditation, an affirmation of some positivity, like you're doing great, a gratitude list of at least 10 things you could say you're grateful for. So anytime you find yourself going into the rabbit hole, go to the free zone of judgment and then just kind of do a little recalibration. It's kind of this hyper awareness that we need to create to bring in and ground our new reality. It's one of those kind of requirements on a list, if there was to be a list of requirements, just to stay in those higher frequencies and the outcome, right? So today is a day where we can change fate. Fate is, for me, it's what happens to us, in my opinion, and destiny is actually what we do with it. So in this unseen creation, there really is no evidence. There's no mental knowingness or different affirmations. It's these decisions that come from like this holy faith channel. You feel it and you trust it. It's like this inner knowingness. You might even get a vision of it and kind of follow those threads. Take it from the divine source channel, kind of like that. When I have visions, I know if they come in with color, if that's my third eye, if they're black and white, that is spirit having a conversation with me. But the elemental energy of the day, it's a Jai Si day or a Yin Earth Snake. So the snake has the yang fire element, so the day branch feeds the day master. So the snake, the rooster, and the ox actually create a trinity. So the metal or the element of metal is being released, all those things that are hidden in storage, kind of underground. So it's the spleen, the small intestine, and our lungs. So with this metal being released, it's really a good idea to bring in more of the element of earth, which is the soil, and fire to support and create actually more earth. And also to control this excess metal energy. Earth people are generally, they're the transformers, they're the nurturers, they're stability. The energy that's always transforming from one energy into the next or the next season or the next element. So it's this fairness quality and the balance of that. Sometimes they're chronic worriers, but they worry about everything, not just their own life, but everything out into the galactic universe. They aren't really fast movers, but they are steady and they hold the longevity. They don't really like wasting time or schemes or ideas. They like to plow through the realities of the situations. They make great managers and organizers. They can really be trusted to kind of implement a plan, kind of take it through, follow through. But sometimes they're kind of single-mindedness, which kind of puts a hold on being versatile or handling multitasking, where you can do 20 things at the same time and nobody knows what you're doing. They don't really have that ability. They're not really overly emotional or sensitive in a way. So they have this stability and this stillness. The directions the elements kind of work with are the northeast, the southwest, and actually the center of a home or direction, even a business. And Saturn's the planet associated with the element of Earth. Saturn is like this command center. It's the commitments, the authority, self-leadership abilities. Professions that are kind of Earth related are like construction or real estate, human resources, management, consultations. I was thinking of like a life coach, a healing life coach. And the skin being the largest organ, whatever's going on inside the body will actually show up at the level of the skin. I think right now my fire energy is weak, or actually I think it's excessive. And my heat, my fire energy is probably on fire actually. But earth is lymphatic circulation, it's toxicity in the body. So you can ask yourself, where in my body does my earth energy speak? Because we have all of these elements. It's just what area, resonates with and through you. Our day master, not looking at the hour, I feel like we need wood as well, but I would probably stick with the fire and the earth elements, both with the elements and also the cosmic energy, Saturn being online. So it's with this energy, it's really time to lead ourselves, take charge kind of approach to life, where you have clarity, peace on what those skills even are for you or are present within your beingness. And all of a sudden, you have this awareness of the line, right? The line of like what's being accepted and what's not being accepted, what's accepting or not accepting, between those polarities. So it's ready to really get the business done. Myself, I've been self-employed my entire earth journey. I have the sun in my 10th house. It's the leadership, the mothership in a way. It's our command center. And Saturn for me is actually in the sign of Aries in my natal chart. So I act on my leadership abilities fearlessly. Saturn is also what we fear. So myself, I like to challenge my fears. Aries, that's kind of how I go through it. But Saturn right now is in Aquarius. So it's like shifting the frequency and the vibration of the command center, the outer world, is kind of where I see that. But we also have Jupiter there. So we got like these two polarities that are slower moving, but kind of fast moving, all in the same. So here, I go live every day in that energy because I committed to the decision. So one of the negatives to a Saturn energy day is you might come across as kind of being bossy or pushy, not just with yourself, but maybe to others. You might overcommit to things. Sometimes even for myself, integrity is a huge thing. But if I'm all about honoring my word, if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And I hold myself to that. It's like a value, taking a value stance. So you don't really want to overcommit, taking on more than you can chew. Just be aware of promises, not just to yourself, but also to others, because energy is a binder. It's a binding thing as well. So when you say things, you're going to be held to that bind in a higher vibration. So are you ready? Are you ready and able to commit to what your future life will be next? Or do you have the energy to take it forward into the future? So it's this high cascading decision commitment kind of day. It's more of a commitment kind of day is how I see it. And in the cowrie shell divination, it's the devotion of the heart or the devoted heart. So make sure that only your heart dives in to make that commitment from the authentic heart. I actually just did my TikTok and devotion was huge for the weekend. If you've seen that, I share it in a variety of places. But your heart is the essence of this source energy. It's our divine generator, if you will. So it's the ability of our heart to really open up to the galactic frontier, to the feeling that you get when you're in co-creation and you're manifesting, creating things, that process. So if your heart can really open up to the feelings of those intentions within your prime directive without having resistance, not just from yourself, but other people pushing against you, then it's really time to really get online to create and manifest and commit from your heart space. So if you have any kind of unresolved emotions on your thread lines out in the field, your emotional field, then you're not really ready to commit at this moment. It's like, yes, but not yet. So maybe give yourself some time and also some space to kind of revisit those threads in a few days and kind of sink in and work through those feelings that are on the crest of that wave. So it's this path, and it's the path that's most suited, the one that you wear like into the future. So we're in this change and the shift between time and space, I would say, and reality and our future beingness. So there's this balancing act between our feelings and our heart space. And, they're on the thread lines, kind of balancing the two. We have like this new definition, what makes you feel safe and secure and what inspires you to be playful and have some fun. That's really how your inner beingness, your little child self, should always feel like in this co-creation playing station in a way. So it's really devotion time. And choose what your heart and your feelings want to create or develop towards your future, your heart center. And your heart, really, you have to believe that this is who you really are. This is what you want to see in those thread lines. I'm telling myself every day and people around me that I'm doing great, they're doing great, you're doing great. I'm a magical being. I affirm the magical being that resides within me. That's kind of my morning meditation. But it's more of a process than a destination just to be heart devoted or having a devoted heart. So just in recognizing the process, the transformation, that earth energy, not the outcome, that's kind of the proposal, if you will. It's not really, it's the proposal. It might take some time, just like an engagement, to get to the proposal. Usually when people run to the courthouse too quick, the marriage part, they forgot the engagement or the proposal part. So it's this process in the beingness, the being. Our command center, our third eye, is actually online today. So it's like deep blues and indigos and purples. Even sometimes I see black flickerings. So you can bring in the shaman's portal to your third eye. And I talk about the shaman's portal in both Secrets of the Other World and Changing Your Stars. It's kind of a playground for me as far as what that is. And my quiz, Change Your Star quiz. But so our third eye, or, you can utilize ocean blue to bring in your throat, or even white, the flickers through the crown, and you just kind of decide what flavor works for you. That's just kind of how I go through it. And our Om, today's like the Om chant, bringing in the wisdom channel, or the sound of silence. I prefer the sound of silence in my own inner oming. That's just what resonates for me. But just oming, can recalibrate your entire system, your energy system. The elemental sounds, the sounds of fire and earth. So since all that metal is being released, you could also ask yourself questions about the metal influences as well. Do you communicate smoothly? Today, you would, with all that metal energy, it's positive goals and objectives and intuition. That's kind of the flavor of metal energy, the ingredients. You're driven more to pursue goals. Metal is actually Venus, is the element associated with metal. But earth, the sound of earth is the Whooo. Like if you've heard the Whooo, it comes really from the throat. The Whooo is actually this Mongolian rock band, and they're throat singers. I totally love them, but that's the sound of earth. So it's really rooted in the earth plane. And fire is the heat in the tonality of ha. So it has the breathy heat that comes out of your mouth. So now for fun, this is super exciting. The animal of the day, I went with the skunk of all things. Black and white, tread lightly, do no harm. Kind of approach a problem from more of a passive direction, and everything will kind of simply come together. So the skunk, look at this cute little beastie. We got to love the skunk, right? So skunks are really, they're an opportunity to become more confident in our interactions with others. So the spirit animal itself, it's like meeting life's challenges with like this calm and peaceful heart, which I find the energy really goes with the skunk today. So you kind of have to also, respect where you want to be as well. So the skunk also implies that, you're walking your talk. And that's really the only way that we can set an example for others. Similar to the energy of the dog, you're also, you have to respect yourself and your own inner beliefs. But the skunk also is letting us know that we have the courage and the willpower to raise a stink, if you will, to make right something that is actually wrong. So, in other words, it might be like justice needs to prevail at this time. And just remember that you do not need to spray to be compelling. Your reputation precedes you. Just stand your ground calmly with actual confidence. So if you have the skunk totem, you're the ultimate pacifist, just always preferring to avoid conflict and also turmoil, walking a fine line between being a people pleaser and balancing your own self respect in a way. So, they really always maintain a mantra of do no harm or an attitude, but they're also assertive without egocentricness. So, people with this power animal, they're similar to a poisonous snake, if you will. They just know how to attract others. They're very charismatic. They have a great understanding of energy and how to utilize energy, how to get it to flow, to get what they want. They also have a unique sense of smell and understand aromatherapy, which is magical, right? But if you're to dream of a skunk, that's the indication that you have been driving people away or turning them off in some way. So it could also be that you are suppressing your anger, or even that you're on the verge of exploding or imploding, that you're not expressing your true feelings, or, that you don't agree with a decision. So I found this curious that I brought up the skunk today with the energy between, the elements and the universe, but also the skunk, he's a smelling creature in our dreams. So it's a symbol also of fear, which is Saturn. So you might be threatened by somebody who's walking into your life. And occasionally the vision might indicate that it's actually time to actually confront your repressed anger, which is actually wood energy. It's our gallbladder energy as well. So I thought that was way interesting and cool. Oh, there we go. So the card of the day, which is also exciting, I picked, I stuck with my elemental oracle deck. I pulled actually 3 cards, but they're all magical and they go with the day. So fire is our action realm in the elementals and also in the cosmos. Fire is the sun, it's Aries, and it's also, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius, our beliefs. We need fire in our beliefs. So this is where we learn to be dynamic, claim our personal power, let our light shine, be bright, feel our passions inside of us about life and what we're doing. But fire is also a teacher about transformation, changing forms, dying of the old part of ourselves and being born new. I call it the transformation station, or one of them. But fire can also be violent, right? A violent realm is kind of what I'm going with. People often express their fear of getting out of control, like how a fire rages out of control. So really working with fire itself is more of a skill. It's a gift. It's a talent. Energetically, I talked about this before. My 4 pillars chart is full of fire. I have 0 water. So I sit by water often to calm those fires, because fire can rage out of control, right? So you need a lot of focus. You need a lot of training. Balance, absolutely 100%. That's kind of the key, the access point when working with fire, because it teaches us to live this dynamic, passionate life from our radiant, brilliant core, our essence inside of us. So it's kind of like honoring the sacred when working with fire, and both the teaching and also the tools, the energy of it, and just finding ways to merge those gifts, these messages from those other realms with our everyday awareness. But I pulled the warmth card, this soft glow, a flicker of a candle, this gentle burning fire. Could be a cup of hot tea or coffee. Just those things that are more kind of put us in a state of serenity, ways that fire kind of supports us in life, those warming energies, where the fire is calmed down. It's a little more muted, if you will. And it provides more nurturing to our soul as well as our body, our beingness. So fire warms, it helps us to find peaceful ways to balance our lives and nurture our inner being. So you kind of want to ask yourself, how is fire actually warming you? Do you need to find more balance by adding warmth and nurturing to your life? Those are kind of the energies of fire. And then I pulled 2 spirit cards, which I found curious as well. Spirit. So the spiritual realm is really this unified field. It's our connection to our divine spark, our essence of spirit that's within each and every one of us. It's our connection to the God or the goddess channel. This connection to spirit is also where the energy of creation lives. It's the burst. So your inner connection to spirit is guiding you through your life. It's like your guiding star in a way to bring your own essence fully in the expression into the world, into your day-to-day reality. So it's this rich substance that really flows through us and connects. It connects all the elementals, the earth, the water, the air, the fire, the metals, and so many more ingredients and also elements. So the spirit just enables all of these elements to really hold a container together and form in a container all of these elements. And we all have them in both the outer realm and also in the inner realm. So these are these unseen ingredients when the elements actually work together in that cosmic soup in creation. So when you sit quietly in nature or reflect on your inner nature, you can really heal the substance of your own personal spirit, the essence of who you are. But I pulled the divine masculine, which is, you know, in different cultures, there's a different expression of the divine masculine. God, you know, it's been called Osiris, Yahweh, Allah, Shiva, Jehovah, Christ, the Green Man, and, you know, there's many more. But in a lot of traditions, he's this masculine counterpart to the goddess energy. And even in history, different periods and timelines, there's like this divine coupling that work to balance expression and like the sacred union. The divine masculine, you know, it has this unique expression and it's this important connection for both men and women. We both have both masculine and feminine energies. And, you know, and what was the divine masculine, you know, what does the divine masculine want to share with this expression within us today? Do you need healing around that divine masculine energy? It's kind of curious, but what else is fun, or I thought it was unique anyway, is I also pulled, whoopsie, where did I go? There I am. I also pulled the divine feminine. So it's kind of curious, and there are thousands of names as well expressing the divine feminine throughout the world too. Isis, Gaia, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Aphrodite, Shakti, Hestia, you know, those are just a few of her many expressions, and there's more. She's often called the goddess, the feminine counterpart to God. So it's like gods and goddesses, you know. I would actually tune that in affirmations and prayers, you know. Father God, Mother God, Goddess, God, whatever you want to call. Throughout history, you know, the divine couple kind of expressed this balance within working together. Again, you know, it's sacred union. So we have the divine feminine, and then we have these expressions that give women and men a way to just know themselves more deeply and more connected to divine source energy. So how is the divine feminine calling to you now? And what does she want to share of herself? Or how well do you know her? So I think it's really an amazing day to kind of collaborate with source energy, the yin and the yang of spirit, the essence, and really hold sacred space of the warmth, the fire that really resides within you and outside of you, just merging the assets of both the masculine and the divine feminine. It's like this magic. So the message, you know, it might come in the bottle today, is really kind of to find your inner peace and know that you are safe and protected. And you can open up the conscious streams, the river, to receive those otherworldly messages in a way. So an affirmation that I would say, it would be something like, I am in sacred space and devoted to my heart's connection with the divine or the great spirit, whatever word resonates with you. So thanks for tuning in. I know I was a little late, but as always, InShalla, Ashe, and I will see you on the other side. Blessings, everybody.